Hey everyone. So in each week we're going to have vocabulary to start on Mondays, and they're titled Word Up. So here we have our Word Up Vocabulary 1. You can find this in your Unit 1. And we'll have most of the week to complete it, and then there'll be a mastery check, which is essentially just a quiz on that vocabulary. So you click on this, it should be Word Up number 1 activity set. And so the Word Up activity set is going to look like this. And the main thing I want you to do on Mondays is I want you to go through words 1 through 7 here and just read these sentences and make a prediction based on what you read on what you think the word actually means. So the New York City apartment was capacious enough to skateboard and ride bikes through. What does the capacious mean based on the context within that sentence? The mama elephant looks colossal when standing next to her tiny baby calf. What does colossal mean based on the context of that sentence? A truculent attitude rarely helps you make friends and will most likely get you in trouble. Truculent. What does truculent mean there? Timmy lamented over his failing grades because he knew he would get grounded and not able to play PlayStation after school. I need to put a B in there, not be able to play PlayStation after school. Number 5, even though the chocolate ice cream was dripping down his face and making a huge mess, Sam didn't care since the ice cream was a delectable, need to fix that too, treat. Delectable. Rock climbing is an arduous sport that requires a lot of dedication, hard work, strength, and practice. And finally, the science teacher who wore funky skirts and took her students on many outrageous adventures and field trips was considered to be a little bit zany. And so at this point, you'd want to pause the video after this and just make a prediction. Make sure you predict all of those words because I'm going to go over them now. Okay? And then when I go over them, you keep your guess, and then next to it, you would write what it means. So let's say I'm going to make a wrong guess here for capacious. Let's say fire. Way off, okay? That's not what capacious means. But then when we go through, we would type out what we actually think capacious means, right? Which is actually spacious. So that's what we would do, all right? So, and maybe like change the color of how you're going to like type each of them. So maybe like you write your guesses in blue and the actual meanings in black or so on, however you want to do it. But to look here, let's just go through the words. So I'm going to go really quickly because you can pause. So capacious is having a lot of room inside. Like I said, spacious. The New York City apartment has a capacious living room large enough to skateboard through. Colossal is extremely large. Okay, the mama elephant looks colossal when standing next to her tiny calf. You can see that there. Truculent, eager or quick to argue or fight. A truculent attitude rarely helps you make friends. You see she's punching him in the face. Lament, to express sorrow or regret, or to mourn. Timmy lamented over his failing grades because he knew he would not be able to play Among Us anymore. Hashtag sad day. Delectable is an adjective, delicious and savory. I should have been saying this from the beginning too. This is my mistake. Just make sure you're making a note of what each one is. Is it an adjective, verb, noun, so on and so forth. After a hard day of playing with Legos and filling his diaper, Sam felt he deserved this delectable treat. You can see he's crushing this ice cream cone right here. Arduous is also an adjective. When something is difficult, hard, and requires an extreme amount of effort. So with this one, with a lot of the longer definitions, don't think you have to do the entire thing, but like make sure you note that it's difficult, hard, requires a lot of effort. One of those things. So Sarah is not one to shy away from arduous adventure, no matter what she is wearing. You see, she's like in a wedding dress, going for this mountain climb. Zany is silly, funny, crazy, but also likable. I always consider Mrs. Wallace to be zany. Zany is an adjective. Some people call Bob weird, but he prefers to be called zany. Like weird would be a negative word, whereas zany is kind of a positive word. So those are your definitions there. So after you do that, what I want you to practice doing is come here to the next slide and get your synonyms and antonyms done. So what is a synonym for each of the 7 words, and what could be an antonym? Remember that a synonym means the same, and antonym means the opposite. Now, if there is time, I want us to work through these pictures. But if not, we can work on the pictures as we have free time throughout the week. And then the final thing we are going to do is we're going to write sentences. Now, this week we're going to learn what simple sentences are, but in the coming weeks we'll learn what compound and complex. So you're only required right now to write me simple sentences using these vocabulary terms. Now, remember that remember that a simple sentence has to have a subject and a predicate. Okay? If there are any questions about your word up, just let me know. You'll use this to study all week. This Quizlet has not worked in the past, but hopefully we can find a way to get it to work this year, and that'll take you to some flashcards for each of the words. And we'll see what happens. See if it'll work for you all. If not, maybe I'll make a video going through each of the flashcards. And the quiz will be made available immediately. If you feel confident in taking the quiz day 1, you think you know the words, you're more than welcome to do so. As always, if you have any questions, just please let myself or Mrs. Henderson know. All right, bye everybody.